Hi, folks. It's Trevor Shan, the educating entrepreneur, back again, and I've got Alex Hargrave. And Alex is going to tell us a bit about band he was in called Parachute and what it's like to start and grow a successful band. And it's not, I guess, what we often think of as a traditional entrepreneur uh, process. But again, I thought it was be fun to get some different stories out there and some different flavors. And Alex has been kind enough to talk us through it. So Alex, tell us a bit about the band and how you all got together and started.
Yeah, I played in a band called Parachute. We were a pop rock band. We had several platinum and gold singles.
Oh,
We started the uh, band in high school.
okay.
We eventually signed to a label called Mercury Records, and we were managed by Red Light Management in Charlottesville here. We toured all over Europe and Canada and the United States on a bus. So it was a great part of my life, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah. So again, just as an aside there, I used to live in Seattle, and Parachute would come through Seattle, and I'd always take time out of my schedule to get down there, and had a lot of fun times going to the concerts, and then I got to be cool and hang out backstage, and yeah, so it was awesome. So thank you all. Those are good times.
Cool.
So excellent. So obviously, most of the time when we think of entrepreneurship, we think of a widget shop, right? You buy products, you resell products. But obviously starting a band has got to be very different, right? So, what are, can you tell us kind of a bit about, hey, starting a band is unique, and here are some of the things that you really should know before you decide to head down there, quit your day job and go become a rock star.
Yeah, well, luckily in my case, well, we started in high school, so that was my first day job. So, progression was kind of I had no experience other than the music industry. So,
Gotcha.
but I think for me, don't be afraid to change your original outlook on success in the music industry.
Okay.
Um, we definitely went through a lot of different phases over the years. Um, in the beginning, uh, we we got signed by selling out our local music venues, and at that time that was Star Hill and Outback Lodge.
Gotcha.
We definitely played showcases and sent out press packages to anyone and everyone that would accept it.
Yeah.
And we the drummer Johnny Stubblefield and singer Will Anderson and I, we actually shared a room at a place called we were living on 14th Street. It was basically a mock frat. We called ourselves Pi Omega Omega. We had like 9 guys and just slammed in that space. And in that one room, we had a computer dedicated to one task and one task only, and that was getting friends on MySpace. And at that time, they wanted you to have, I think it was something like 10,000 to 12,000 friends on MySpace before anybody would look at you.
Yes.
So we would take turns just, clicking.
Clicky.
Friend requests, trying to get them as fast and as furious as we could.
Gotcha.
We
So
eventually, yeah.
go ahead.
I mean, we eventually went down to Atlanta, Georgia for a showcase. We met our music lawyer there. We got a booking agent there, started working with Red Light Management, and they helped us hook up with Mercury Records.
Awesome. That sounds great. So it sounds like build a local following, right? Because I know I used to come to all the shows. It used to be called Sparky's Flaw before Parachute. So build a local following, and then just persistence and hard work.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, not what people think of in rock stars. They think I just got to play the instrument, but it sounds like there's a lot more work to it than just playing the instrument.
Oh, most definitely.
So how did you do that? Like, how did you? I mean, you play in the evenings. I'm sure there's a lot of travel involved, and yet you still have to do the business side of things. How did you kind of balance all of that?
Balancing the music industry. So luckily for us, you know, we had a great team, and we had a lawyer, David Costner. We had booking agents that we kind of went through a few of them, and red light management just was tremendous. The way we managed everything was luckily we had a lot of the right people involved with us that we
Gotcha.
could trust.
Gotcha.
And I know a lot of people weren't so lucky, and
Yeah.
how do you determine, oh, who are good people and who aren't?
Yeah.
You don't know until you know. And
Gotcha.
that's the reality of it.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, no, that's a great, yeah, great point. Is like you can't really tell. Like there are a lot of plenty of folks out there who are a little disreputable, but you look them up online and you see them, right? So, and they look fine on the internet, and then they maybe aren't as reputable, or vice versa, right? There's probably some folks who maybe don't have the greatest online presence, but are just good, hardworking folks who are there to help you out. So,
Yeah.
um, excellent. But yeah, so again, I guess it sounds like the booking agent, right? There's a time to go, hey, this isn't working, move on to the next one. Do you find that hard to do, or is that something that kind of it solves itself?
I mean, sometimes it depends on the situation. It depends on the people. So sometimes it's easier than others. But
Gotcha.
you know, I think being honest with people is always, a great first step. Um, because no matter what, people are going to get upset in certain situations, and as long as you explain and you're honest to them and you're honest to yourself, I mean, nothing's ever easy, but that's the easiest you can make it.
Yeah, yeah, gotcha. So again, when you guys started, I know you guys had like a tiny little white van that you and everything else got jammed into. But then I'd come out and see you in Seattle, and you had the whole tour bus and things like looked a much um, a little more, yeah, I guess established, right?
Yeah.
So I guess first of all, how did you know when to make those changes? And then how did that success change things or not change things?
Okay. So first off, we never knew when to make those changes. We just made them. As
Gotcha.
soon
Okay.
as we could, we did it. And we
Gotcha.
just rode that one out until we couldn't ride it out anymore.
Gotcha.
The jump from a bus to from a van is a big jump. And I'm sure it's a lot more now, but at the time it was $1,000 a day to be in a
Wow.
bus. So first off, does it financially, is it even possible?
Yeah.
As soon as it was possible, we did it. I think, you know, psychologically, being in a bus is a huge game changer because
Okay.
uh, you're not getting done with a show at what, 12 o'clock, and then you're driving through the night and you're arriving at the next city um, at 6:30. We were doing interviews on local news stations at the time. So we would do a news interview in the morning, and then we would drive to the venue. So you're getting very little sleep.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about making your life a little bit easier. Um,
Gotcha.
and that in itself is going to really promote a better end product,
Yeah.
music, a better show. Whenever you can be in a better mindset, I'm all for it.
Gotcha. Yeah. So it kind of feeds upon itself, right? You make the jump to the bus, but that leaves you more refreshed, so you can focus on the music and the show. You have a better show, which brings in more fans, which helps you afford the bus.
And there you go.
Excellent. Excellent. So, how did you stay motivated, right? So that's got to be a very disheartening thing, when you're discussing, like, I'm sending out press packets to everybody I can send out press packets to, right? We're trying to get, 2000. There have to have been moments where you and Johnny and were just, oh, I can't do this anymore. How did you push through, and what sort of um, tools or tricks do you have to help folks who want to do something else to stay motivated?
Motivation. I work on motivation all the time. But pretty much having a sense of humor
Okay.
is the biggest thing. and people run into problems no matter what. The big situation is, and the big kind of goal there is not to get too worked up with mistakes and problems that come down the line, because that's going to always be a constant.
Yeah,
As far as motivation is concerned, um, basically just keep working, keep pushing, and that's all you can do. I don't think there is a real secret to motivation. Um,
gotcha. Yeah, yeah. But again, it's got to be somewhat motivating at least when you have a great show, right? So seeing you folks, seeing you come to those venues, and I mean just the throng of people who are like, oh my God, it's parachuting. I mean that's got to be motivating, right? I don't get that in my day job, right? No one's
yeah.
been like, Trevor, that's a great Excel, right? Like it never happened.
Well, yeah, I mean, once you're at the top, and once you quote made it, at that point, yeah, you're motivated. But trust me, 90% of your career, 99% of your career, you're not playing to adoring fans. You're playing to, you're playing at the Gap at Tyson's Mall, and people are buying jeans. You're playing at a club in North Carolina called the Oasis, where uh, in the bathroom the urinal drains right on the floor, and there's
Oh,
nobody. You're playing to the bartender, and
yeah.
that's it. I mean, so the motivation is easy once you get to the point of reward, but it's getting there that's the hard part, and I think that's also what separates the successful people from not.
Just perseverance, right? Just keep
Yeah,
going, just keep going. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, there's definitely some days where you just gotta keep putting one foot in front of the other, right?
there you go.
So again, it sounds like you've had a lot of people help you out along the way, but I guess initially, kind of what are your do you have any resources, whether it be websites or hey, the first person you should get on your side or add to your team who's not a musician, obviously. Um, Anything like that you could advise somebody who's trying to start out, right? They've got their guitar and then their buddy's playing drums and they've got a guitar and they are trying to move forward. Thoughts and resources on either what type, what role of a person they should reach out to first, or is there a website, or is there you know resource of some sort you think they should look at?
Yeah, as far as the music industry is concerned, as far as resources and people that can help you out, it's not that easy, because there's a lot of people out there telling you that they're going to um, take you to the next level, and they have all these credentials that may or may not be true. You really just have to trust your gut, as far as who you trust, and a manager is a great thing. A manager will help you um, through the hardest times, and a good manager can really help guide you. Finding that person is hard, especially when you're starting out.
Yeah.
So for us, we our first manager was Margaret Murray, and she was just a friend from high school, and she started helping us kind of navigate, the music industry, and we both did that together.
Excellent.
Um, so, to think that you're going to get a professional manager right out the gate is not going to happen. So,
Gotcha.
start with your friends, somebody who believes in what you're doing, and is willing to stick by you for a while.
Gotcha. Yeah. So again, to try to get some of that non-musical stuff off your plate and so that you can focus on the shows.
Yeah.
Excellent. So I guess yeah. I mean, I saw some amazing shows out there, so I'm sure there were lots of fun, successful times. But you got any cool rock star stories you want to share with us before we wrap up?
Yeah. Uh, the best part about being in the band is for me, was pretty much traveling. I got to go to all 50 states. We toured all over Europe, and we got the unique opportunity to do a lot of things that a lot of people don't get to say they they've done, flying in private jets and
Yeah,
racing Ford Fiestas on a racetrack. And I got to do that with all my best friends, you know. So
that's
um,
awesome.
that's just one of those stories and things that you just don't think will ever happen to you. But
Yeah,
you know, I find that the people that are successful in the music industry are the people that stick around, and the people that are still in it, you know, I'm out of it, but the people that are still in it that I knew that were starting out are becoming successful. Uh,
gotcha.
you know, so the moral of the story is just don't
Yeah,
quit.
yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, so again, I
Yeah,
mean, you start with 10 fans, and then they tell, two more people, and now you got 12 fans, and then they tell, 10% more people, and then you kind of grow. So you kind of need a certain amount of time and consistency, right? Because that's the
right,
other thing that's, it's got to be tough, right? Like, so you need to build a fan base at least locally and initially, which means you have to be play on a fairly consistent basis because it's always tough when you've got those bands that play in May and then you just don't see them for 3 months and you're like, no, I can't can't get into following you if you're not there to follow. So
yeah,
awesome,
yeah.
excellent, Alex. Well, thank you so much again for your friendship, for having me backstage at the shows in Seattle, and again, thank you so much for this interview. I'm excited that we got to share some stories um, that aren't traditional business paths, but still ones that are great and hopefully interest people. So
No, definitely anytime.
awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great
Thank you.
day.
You too. Bye.